What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? You know what? If you want to give me a minute, I'm going to Max. If you want to hop on the Discord, I think we can make that happen. So if you're there and you hear me, let me know. I hope I'm not having internet problems. It might take a couple of minutes, but I think we can get Max on voice chat pretty quickly. So yeah. I got something set up, so it'll probably take like just a couple of minutes to get Max up there with us. Okay, 1 second though. Why is that not coming up? I'm having a little bit of a problem here. 1 second. So hopefully this works. So if Max wants to join me, I am on the Discord room, and I hope this is working. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I don't know when you sent me the message, but I'm on the voice chat. Let's see if he pops in. Alright, so let me hit the live button. Let's go back to being live. I don't know what just happened there with the camera. It got all messed up, but that's okay. And ba-bam. Alright, so can you guys hear me okay? Does everything seem good? I think I need to crank up my voice just a little bit more, and we should be good to go. So yeah, I don't know if Max is going to pop on here or not, but... Alright, so you're in the Discord?
Yep, I'm here.
Ah, perfect. I hear you. Do you guys hear Max? That's the question now. Are you guys able to hear Max? Max, talk a little bit.
Can people hear me? Am I in the room? Am I live on Denny's stream?
All right, keep talking.
Sounds like I'm able to be heard.
All right, good. I think we got it set up, so yeah. I'm glad I set that up the other day, and I'm glad it's working. So is Max loud enough, or is he too loud? Does he sound fine, guys? Let us know. All right.
I think Wimpu says that my volume's a little bit low.
So Max is too low.
Okay, Sven says he can clearly hear us. William says I'm low, so your call, man. You want to turn me up a little bit? Crank up the volume. Let's blow out some eardrums.
All right. I don't know if we want to do that, but let me add a gain filter on your voice here and turn you up by like maybe 2 or 3 decibels. All right.
2 or 3 decibels should be good.
How's that, guys?
How are we doing? Everybody can hear me?
Is that better? Actually,
I'm already going deaf.
That might not have worked.
Some of you guys need to turn your volume down a little bit.
All right. Hopefully they can hear me.
All right.
And hopefully they can hear you, but that should probably be pretty good right there. I can always... The limiter's on -5.
Okay.
Put that on -3. There we go. We should be ready to rock and roll.
All right. Finally made it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I always tell you last minute, but I did try to reach out last night online, and I'm like, he did not check his message.
Yeah, that's the thing. I pop on there like once or twice a day normally, and
yeah, I get it.
let me find the live racing lobby. All right. The music is a bit loud, says Brian. Where is the music volume? Let me go and turn that down a little bit. Alright, so now the music should be significantly lower, which is fine for now. Alright.
Good deal.
Oh, somebody's
Did you
trying
figure
to
out
race
what
me.
lobby you want to be in?
Well, lobby? You know what?
Yeah.
I forgot to look. I just picked the Huna truck. I think that was in, what, 11.8, maybe? I'm having a lot of fun driving this thing. 3, 2, 1, go. But yeah, this thing is a crazy live racer. I still need to record a live racing setup for this video, or for this truck. Now, last time I set up a live racing setup for it, it was pretty cool, but you couldn't slow down, so I'm glad I found something that allows you to slow down. That's way better. Way better.
Well, usually if you put the final drive up higher on this truck,
yeah,
you can use upshift to control it better. But it definitely does better on time and everything else when you put it to the 2.0 final drive, but it's very hard to control it. So you always have to balance with this. And this is why this truck doesn't last very long in live. Everybody kills it. They just can't slow down enough to keep it viable for very long.
Yeah. Hey, William D., I'm pretty sure I set the wild card off already, but thank you. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys coming out. So you guys are probably familiar with Max, right? We got MaxTheGamer in the house. If not, he is another YouTuber. You guys probably know Max, though. So what do you think about the new Lamborghini thingy-dingy we just got?
What, the Urus or the which one? Oh, the Sterato, or
yeah,
whatever it's called.
I don't know how you pronounce it exactly, but the new cool looking Lamborghini with the tire on top.
It's a solid B- as far as I'm concerned. The problem with it is, of course, it doesn't escalate well when you build it into the higher upgrades. It doesn't beat Dino by much, if anything. But it's actually relatively easy to drive, so you know, if you set it up properly, it's okay. So the issue is most of these guys are better in the slower lobbies. Than once you get past 10, they start to kind of yeah, they don't do as well.
Gotcha.
And you know what I'm working on, and it's absolute misery? We got the new collections thing with the boss cars. Did you see what it requires for you to get the veteran level on those cars?
No. What does it want?
All live racing wins.
Huh.
Imagine 75 wins with Shax's Agera.
You're going to have to find somebody who's going to let you win. That's crazy. I don't know. I mean, I like the collections, but this is my problem with collections. Most of those cars have purple stars, meaning those are going to be paid crates in the first place, right? You got a bunch of paid crates. And you got to max a lot of these cars out or win a bunch of live races. I mean, some of them, oh, you got to make sure you run a time faster than this, but you have to have the car max, meaning
Yep.
the only way to get the parts and do these things is by opening paid crates. So, I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
The NM is sticking it to us with this new collection thing with the Agera, with all the boss cars, really. I mean, they have... So the good news for you guys is you can now get the boss cars using collection tickets, right? So if you missed it back in the day, bam, now's our chance. So my main account can finally collect KJ's Toyota 86. right? So that's what I'm looking forward to. Of course, I have 65 tickets right now, so that's going to take a while. But
you know, that little sprint race is up on the map, and every time I try and lock a car into it, it's like, oh, we need you to take this car and do this with it. I'm like, I don't even have that car upgraded. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you can lock it in with the base lock-in.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. You can't get that higher end ticket reward because you're not, veteran level car, whatever it is. But man, 75 races. So they escalate it, right? So
it's crazy.
The first guy, you only need to win 25, and then it's 40, then it's 60. But every single boss car is the same thing. You got to win live races with boss cars. You know how bad those cars are?
They're horrible. Most of them. I mean, the only one I can think of that really can win live races somewhat easily would be if you're running the Sesto Elemento on stage 5. It's halfway decent. The rest of those cars, my god, you're not going to win live races with almost any of those. I mean, no. I guess I haven't checked all of them for low performance point high Evo setups, but I would assume the majority of them don't have that available. So
they
probably suck.
I mean, they have some Dino Buster tunes. For example, like Ashley's Mercedes can bust Dino, but how long are you going to get away with that before you kill it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you gotta win. You gotta win in live racing, and you gotta win like 75 live races. Jesus, it's like I don't even want to bring Shax's Zagara out, much less race it. But that's just
yeah, the Shax car is awful. I mean, that's one of the worst cars in the game. The bad thing is everybody's so excited when they win it, like new players. Be like, hey, I just won the Shax car. And they dump all these resources into it, and they think it's going to be good. And then they quickly find out, man, this car is crap. It's just like... I think the boss cars need a revamp. They should buff all the boss cars. They need to do something with them. I mean, a boss car should be really good in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the initial boss cars being kind of bad, I can understand. But by the time you get to Tempest 3 boss cars, you should at least make them decent, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Darker Knight says, want to know a trick to win live with boss cars? Sure, man. We all going to need it. I mean, I don't need it, but most of you guys will need it.
He's probably going to say, make 2 accounts. Swap with yourself, right?
Use a real bad tune and race bots. Yep, I tried that, and you can get like so matchmaking's been kind of weird too recently with bots. You can make really bad tunes and catch a few bots, but sometimes all it does is throw you in an empty lobby, and then you're kind of stuck there with nothing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to make a lot of really bad tunes. You're gonna have to retune it badly each time to keep catching those bots. So
it used to be a lot easier to get into lobbies with bots than it is these days, I've noticed. Like, it used to be really easy to make a crappy tune and find bots, but sometimes you try that, and like Max said, you just go into a lobby and you find out, well, crap, I'm in here all by myself. It's like, well, that's no good.
Yeah, but my suggestion actually is for most guys that are in crews, start talking to your crew buddies. Okay, work out a tune between the two of you that has boss cars, and then work it so that you can find each other in the lobby and just basically swap. That's your best way of getting through.
Take 2 boss cars, set them up exactly the same, go into a lobby at the same time, and swap. That's probably the best way, for sure.
Yep. You can do race and regular into counts as a win. Really? On regulation races for the boss cars for that collection thing? I'll try it because it specifically says win in live 75 times. So if there's a glitch that lets me do it on regulation, I'll be happy to do 75 regulation races.
It's boring and tedious, but that would be some easy wins right there if that works.
Yeah, that would be easy wins. The problem, of course, is you have to go back to lobby every single garage, every single race. That's just brutal.
75 races will take like 2 hours because of that. But, I mean, you could do like 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow. 3 weeks later, you finally got it finished.
I may try that with Shax because, I mean, I can actually sort of find my own cars with my 2 accounts, so I'm pretty safe. But it just I looked at the 75 races and it made me cringe.
Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that.
Oh, God.
They want you to do a lot of races. I mean, that's very time consuming just to finish a little task. So, I mean, a lot of people that were free to play were really happy. Like, oh, collections is great. This is great for us free to play players. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's pretty awesome that you might be able to get a couple of cars here and there you couldn't have, but you're going to have a hard time completing all the little tasks and events for sure.
Yeah, I mean, collections is still overall awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think they definitely didn't screw us too hard on this one, unlike some other events, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm liking it. Oh, I'm going to go test that theory right now with my Ashley's CLA. Since I'm on that car on my screen, I'm going to go and see if I can get some more wins using regulations. Let's see. All right, let's first find out how many more wins I need with this car.
Is Miguel here? It sounds like we might have a couple of spots open on our crew. Miguel normally does the recruiting, but I don't know if anybody wants to post a link to the line app in the chat. We have a little waiting list room if anybody wants in. William D, I think, I could make you an admin if you want. Then you could post a link to that if you're interested. If anybody's thinking about, but we do have a 700,000, I almost said hit point, respect point minimum.
700k is pretty low. I mean, that's easy to hit.
It's pretty easy. I mean, if you're a brand new player or something, maybe not so much, but I think most people who have been playing for a little while should be able to hit 700k pretty easily.
Yeah, well, once you can get a live racer together at rank 50 and up, you pretty much can just grind out. Even with a T1, you can grind out your, 30k of live racing RP a day would get you over 700, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, back when I first started off, before I had any good live racing cars, and I wasn't able to do the Prestige Cup every season, I was just taking the Tier 2 Boxster. And I would grind out a million respect points every season live racing that Boxster. I mean, it used to take a couple hours a day, I think, but it was a pain, but you could definitely do it. You could definitely do it.
I think minimum crew requirement for a milestone crew should be whatever 20 million divided by 30 would be, right? That's like 600 something thousand K. So 650K minimum crews is usually the best to have at the minimum. 500 is nice to attract people, but that means your top guys have to work extra hard for you to hit that 20 million mark.
Yeah, that's true.
And people start to feel that's unfair. All right, so I just tried a regulation race for the Ashley. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't register the regulation race. So I know some people had regulation race registering as wins, even for like the 7-second runs and stuff, but it's not working for me.
Oh, even for just going in to do the run it wants you, like when it says, hey, get a run faster than this.
Yeah, and they were doing it in like the T3 regulations, so they were only doing it in a quarter mile and getting 7 points. Yeah, but it doesn't seem to register on my account.
Interesting.
I just did the regulation with the Ashley and it didn't register at all.
I wonder if they changed something. That's interesting.
No, I think it's a glitch on some accounts, but I never had that benefit from the get-go. So let me see if my second account has it.
But no, I haven't done anything with the whatever you call it yet, collections. I'm thinking about just going in there and just locking in every single car I have into the task just to get some credits, but
that's your best bet to start with. That'll get you at least 1,000 credit or so, and then you just build it from there. That's what I did with my account. As soon as I got it, I just locked in everything I could.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make a video of that one day and just record myself doing that and see how many credits it gives me. Of course, everybody has a different amount of cars, so how many credits I get may be different than you or somebody else. So, but it'll give people a good idea of what to do to earn a few credits if they have some of those cars already.
Right, exactly. so what you do is you do want to lock in everything, because even if you only have one car or two cars that can go into those sprint races, that's some credits, right? It's all about building it up over time. So you still want to lock in everything. Before I gave my veteran noob account away, I locked in enough cars to be able to get the Mustang, the T4 Jack Roush Mustang, which is a great car. So that was, a great thing to have for whoever got the account now. One of my crewmates took it. They have now one of the top live racers in Tier 4 in their account.
Yeah, that's cool, actually.
Yeah. The downside is, of course, he has no stage 6s, and that car you really should get at least transmission stage 6 for that car truly to shine, but it's still good. I mean, even at stage 5. And it'll beat Tempest 3 at less than just stage 5 would beat Tempest 3, so that car is just, really good car.
Yeah, William D, I made you a moderator, so if you happen to be on the Line app and you want to post a link to that Line room for the waiting list, go for it. If not, that's okay too, but there might be a couple people interested in joining here, it looks like. But I'll tell you what, I'm really glad I got this Indy truck. Like, it's weird, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a cool car. I mean, I consider it one of the better overall live racers in the game, because it's still extremely viable at the very fast lobbies, like 9-second, 8-second.
Yeah.
The downside to it, of course, is, it's really hard car to control, and if you don't control it, you either lose or you bump. So it's one of those weird ones to use. But the Jack Roush, that was... Millen just said Jack is fantastic, and it is. It's a fantastic car. Probably the top tier 4 right now all around. And it's very easily obtainable in collections if you make that your first priority car to get. And my second account, for example, which is an older account, but free to play, I picked up the CCA50, and that's a phenomenal car.
Yeah,
too,
that's nice.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, if you can get the Jack Roush... If you can grab the Jack Roush, the Gamera, and the CC850, those are 3 awesome cars. Like, 3 super awesome cars.
Yep. So a lot of great cars out there now in the game. I was actually just looking at all the cars on Nitro's account to make a video on the absolute worst cars in the game. That video is coming.
Nice.
Yeah, so because everybody always asks you like the best car, I'm going, there are too many tier 5 for me to tell you the best ones, right? I can give you probably a list of 60 great
for sure.
tier 5s, but I could probably give you a list of 10 really terrible tier 5s you should never focus on. So that's the go.
That would actually be a really helpful video, because a lot of people are pulling out these 3-star turd taco cars and leveling them up, and they're like, this is great. And then, it may be great for a week or two, but after that...
It might be great for that first race, and then it goes down.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not going in depth into these cars. I'm just literally telling you this one sucks, because it generally, look at the numbers, look at what it cannot do. It can't sprint, it can't do speed traps. It just stinks. So we all know that, if you go through all 600 tier 5 cars, that'll be a video that takes a week long to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. I might even use the term turd taco on my video in, as Daddy would call it, a turd taco. So, but yeah, so I was working on that earlier before I was hoping you would notify me that you're starting your stream and I can join you, but I was just doing some side stuff in the morning while I was waiting. But yeah, absolutely, that's one of the things. So, have we figured out what lobby you're actually in? I know there are people that found you already.
I should probably be in the, I think, 11-8s. Pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. These cars I'm racing are running very different times, so somewhere around 11-8.
11-8
is where I should be.
Okay. Hey, Eddie. Welcome to the stream. Any of the guys that just joined, welcome. In case you don't know who I am, I'm MaxTheGamer. Danny and I are basically friends that like to hang out once in a while.
We're basically friends. Yeah.
We're basically friends. Yeah.
Oh man.
Let's curb that a little, because I don't know, man. Some days you treat me like I don't know you. Who are you? Why are you here?
When did I say that?
I mean, some of your streams, man. I know. I watch them. I go, Daddy, come on. No, I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you. No, I think I don't consider myself to have really YouTuber friends, and you're like the only guy that is truly friends that I'm friends with on YouTube, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like there's you and one other guy that I talk to that are YouTubers, and that's about it. I mean, there's a bunch of other YouTubers I've talked to here and there, and that I know a little bit, but
yeah, absolutely. But no, I'm just teasing Danny. We he and I actually, I think, you know, we've helped each other out, and you know, he's done stuff for me that we don't need to talk about on the stream, but we're definitely friends. I think what's interesting about the whole video gaming, worldwide video game is, and the chats, is you make friends with people you would have never met in real life otherwise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I consider a lot of my crewmates friends as well, because, you know, we chat every day. I mean, I have real friends, quote, living nearby that I don't chat with for a year, right?
Yeah.
And I talk to you guys more often than I talk to them. So.
Yeah, I hear you. The other thing is kind of neat is you get to meet people from all over the world sometimes too. It's just like there are so many people I've never would have got the chance to have talked to or met that live here or there. I mean, some of these people are halfway across the continent or halfway across the country, and it's just like, man, that's crazy. You get to do stuff like that. Being a YouTuber is pretty cool. There's a lot of perks for that. But even just in gaming, when you're like in a crew or a clan or something on a game, you get to meet a lot of really cool people from that too. So.
Oh, absolutely. And you learn about other people from around the world that, you know, things that you never would have really think that you would know. I mean, I chat with Soundwave from my crew, you know, on Instagram all the time, and he lives in Europe, so I'm learning stuff about Europe and his country and stuff that I never would have learned otherwise. You know, guys in other parts of the U.S. with their own state stuff that, you know, if you've never been to that state, you would never think. I mean, I learned more about Florida than I really care to know, but, you know, but it's cool. I have a lot of my crew guys are from Florida.
Florida man does this. Florida man does that.
Yeah. Anytime any news starts with Florida man, you know it's out there. It's like, whoa.
Florida man wrestles alligator in the middle of Walmart. You know, it's just like, man, that's that's crazy.
That's always crazy when it's Florida man.
Yeah, those Florida man stories make me not want to live in Florida. I'll tell you that.
Wasn't it in Florida that a shop owner beat up a guy trying to rob him with salamis?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Yeah, he took salamis and literally beat the dude out of his shop with salamis.
Oh man,
so,
that's funny.
You know, that's some crazy stuff coming out of Florida. It just it lives. Florida man, you cyanide and lives. Oh god. Don't give people ideas, man.
Everybody's putting their Florida man jokes in the chat now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, they're just great. I mean, they're such outrageous stories, but they're fun to read. That's for sure.
Imagine being a police officer. Like, the police officers in Florida have to see the craziest, wackiest stuff that we probably never even hear about, you know?
Oh, definitely the wildest crap out there, without a doubt. But, yeah, see, Goku met a Chinese friend through playing the game. I'm actually Chinese. I don't know if most of you know that, but I'm American. But I'm actually ethnically Chinese. So, but we meet people from all over the world. Like I know Millen's in Europe, right? We got a lot of guys in Europe. There are people from India. There are people from Vietnam that was in the crew. Australians. We got a new guy from Australia who's also Asian. I think like an Asian dude in Australia. Man, that's got to be a fun accent. I now I'm thinking maybe I want to hear him on chat, on voice chat.
Yeah.
Right? Can you imagine? That's like the Texan Chinese dude.
I got like on my Warrobots crew, we got an Australian guy, and I'll tell you what, he does not really sound like Crocodile Dundee though.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure if the Australians quite sound the way, or maybe I don't know. I think he's moved around a few times though, so I don't know if he's originally from there. But he definitely has an accent, but it's not the Crocodile Dundee accent I would have expected. But
I was gonna try to. So I found a YouTube video where they teach you how to speak Texas style, right? It's like a voice coach thing.
Did you say Texas?
So, yeah, Texan accent. Try to
Hey,
speak
y'all.
with Texan accent. Yeah. Well, it goes deeper than that though.
I can do one of them.
Let me hear your
there,
best Texan accent, Danny.
Well, I
Let's
don't
hear
know
it.
about Texan, but I think I can do a pretty good there Southern accent, you know? Like, I used to live down south for a little while, so I kind of picked up a little bit of that there, so, yee-hoo! All right, I'm kind of, all right, I don't know. I can kind of,
I don't know about that. British style? I can't. The words are too different.
yeah,
right?
I can't, I'm not very good at accents. I can do a Southern accent a little bit. I can't do Australian, I can't do British, I can't do...
I can't even
most
do a
of it.
Chinese accent. That's how bad I am. So, like I tried to do Chinese accent once, and then my friend was like, "Dude, you sound like an Indian guy. What are you doing?"
That's funny. But yeah, I never would have known you were Chinese before you told me, because I was like, man, you sound like everybody else here in America. Max has the American accent, you know, but
Generic American white dude accent. Where did you pick that up from? Missouri, actually. But, So the Nilu Muffin, the Nilu is actually really high evo car. So my opinion on it is that if you can get it and you're willing to spend the money and build it, it should be a decent car. But there's so many great cars in the game, I just don't feel like spending the money to get it. Right? It doesn't stand out to me.
I liked it, but it's not a car that I would, other than the looks of it, it's not really a car that I think I would drive that often.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive to build. That's the problem.
William D says I'm slaughtering his accent.
You probably like people with actually from the area listen to these accents and probably cringe, like, oh god, So Winpo's like jealous of Max because he speaks fluent English. My English is influent. It's influent.
Man, that's bad.
You're not fluent. You're influent. You sometimes influence others to speak with a really bad accent. That's what your English is. So, yeah, the Maestro is a great car. The Solus too. I don't think, personally, I don't think the Nilu is gonna outperform either the W16 or the Solus.
No, I don't think so either.
No, it's good, but it's not. It doesn't beat Dino easily. So that's the issue with it.
Yeah, the Solus is awesome. I like the car a lot. The W16, that's a cool car. I actually wish I had the W16. I mean, I would love to have that thing. It's got a good live racing. It's just all around awesome. But hey, now I got the Indy truck, so I guess there's that. I'm gonna start buying some of the race passes just to get the stage 6 parts so I can max this thing out.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to get that Universal Stage 6. That's definitely going to be very helpful.
I mean, honestly, just $10 for the race pass. If you can get those 2 Universal Stage 6 parts, that's awesome. I mean, that's the best thing about it. You're getting Universal parts, which you can put on rare cars that you normally couldn't get. And then you're also getting some free cars on top of it. So, I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Yep. Yep. I mean, paid race pass is really good in the sense that you can now build cars that you otherwise would have been stuck for a year waiting on parts.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Devol 16 that I picked up from the race pass, I can each race pass season I put more fusions into it, so it's getting there. I think in another season or two of race pass, my Devol 16 may actually make appearances in live because it's ready.
That is a cool car.
It's a cool car. I just wish it was. I mean, I got to play with it some more, but I'm trying to find like a setup where it can do just somewhat decent amount under dyno as well as keeping the evo up kind of thing. But I don't see it being easy to set up that way, so I'll mess with it some more.
I like that car. Every time I race it, it pretty much beats the crap out of everybody. And don't even have to try it, just wins. It's a good deal.
It does a lot of. I think it has a really high, whatchamacallit, the evo is really high, so it gives that lobby advantage, and that's important. I mean, you want that. It's important to have.
I think I just cheated somebody out of a win. Sorry about that. Hey, Adore, what's up, buddy? How you been doing? We got Adore. Haven't seen you for quite some time. Hope all has been going well.
Let me see. Did I finally finish? Oh my god, it's still not done? How many freaking... 2 more races. I gotta win 2 more times.
Oh, are you still doing...
I'm still working on it.
Things?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's only the 40 race one. I'm not even trying the 75 one yet. Sometimes in 2026 my Devol would be ready. Yeah, I feel the same way for some of the cars I've gotten.
Gaming boy, I don't know what you just said there. I'm not even sure. I haven't been sorry if I haven't been responding to the chat as much as normal, but it's hard to pay attention to the chat, playing the game, and talking to somebody as well. So I guess I'm not as good at multitasking as I used to be.
That happens as we age.
Yeah.
Right. Our brain slows down, so all these extra stuff start to weigh on you.
When I was a kid, I could drive a stick shift, eat a hamburger, smoke a cigarette, drink a beer.
Hey man, I used to be able to chew gum and run down the steps.
All at the
Nowadays,
same time.
I chew gum and fall down the steps. That's how it works.
No, I never drank beer in car. That was just a bad joke. But no,
now, if I try to drink a beer and walk at the same time, I probably choke on the beer. So,
don't drink and drive, kids. Don't drink and drive, because you don't want to get a DIY and go to jail. I know a lot of people who got those. Oh man, thousands of dollars worth of bills to pay, and just that would suck.
Traffic court, okay, without a doubt, is a money-making racket. So,
oh yeah.
They give you tickets and they'll give you like points off and give you a break as long as you pay extra. So you go to traffic court, you better bring your wallet.
I thought you usually got off cheaper if you, like, let's just say you get a ticket. My understanding is if you go to court, instead of just pay it, you almost always get a discount.
Now, so here's how it works, Danny, at least in New Jersey when I had traffic court, right?
Yeah.
They give you a ticket that costs like $125 to pay, but you don't want the 3 points that come with it. So you go to court and you go, oh man, I don't want the points. Can you do me a favor and no points? So they go, okay, we give you this other ticket that has no points. All right, great. But there's a surcharge. There's
Gotcha.
a court fee. I think the total ended up being $500 for the same no point ticket. So that's how they get you.
Yeah, I went to traffic court once because I was in a 25 mile per hour zone, but I didn't know it. There was a bunch of bushes and trees that were covering the speed limit sign, and you couldn't see it when you were driving down the street. And the cop pulled me over, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm pretty sure that was a 35." And the cop's like, "No, it wasn't. That's a 25." I'm like, I'm like, there's no speed limit sign. He's like, yes, there is. So after giving me the ticket, I drove back, turned around, and went back up there. I'm like, I do not see a speed limit sign anywhere. And then I was paying attention to it. Right when I passed this thing of trees, you could see it. And it did say 25, but you couldn't tell until you're right up on top of it. So I went to the court and I complained. I'm like, look, this was bullcrap because you guys are supposed to cut those trees down. We could not see the sign. He's like, oh, well, if you were doing 35, I would have let you off, but you were doing 37. I'm like, dude, come on. I thought I was in a 35 miles per hour zone. I mean, if I was doing like 2, I guess, but the guy, it ended up being cheaper nonetheless, but I was still kind of mad. He's like, well, if you'd have been doing 35 exactly, but you were doing 37, so I'm not going to let you off. He's like, well, we'll have somebody come over there and cut those trees down, which they did a couple of days later. They did cut those down so you could see the sign. But in that case, they should have taken that ticket away. They really should have, because that was bullcrap. If you can't see the sign, it needs to be clearly posted, That was some crap. I'm still mad about that, and that was probably like 30 years ago. I don't know. I would think I was like 19. I was probably like 19 or early 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I got a speeding ticket with my parents in the car.
Yeah?
Right. That's always fun. So, yeah, my parents were actually upset at the cop, not at me, so I was happy about that.
Why were they mad at the cops?
Because I wasn't speeding that much. Like, I'm following traffic, and my parents knew I was following traffic, right?
Yeah.
So the guy in front of me is a little bit of a distance. So that guy went through, because I'm pacing the guy. So I know I'm going probably 75 and at 55, but whatever. Everybody else doing 75, so I just followed him. And of course, I'm the one that get pulled over, so. Because the cop probably saw that the car in front of me was nicer, and then we had a cheap little coupe back then.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of Asians stuck inside with baggage and luggage. So they must be illegal immigrants. Let's pull him over.
Oh my God.
I was actually on my way to college. I was
some
driving.
cops are like that, man. It's pretty crappy.
I mean, he didn't say nothing like that, but he was just like he had his face pulled all tight. He didn't say nothing to me. Here's your ticket.
Yeah.
Because I was like, sir, the guy in front of me was doing the same thing. I was just following traffic. He's like, I'll be right back. Right? Comes back, here's your ticket. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they can only get so many people, but yeah, why did they choose person A over person B to pull over? That's my question. Sometimes I think there is some racial profiling there, which is messed up, but
I think, because I'm actually close friends with a college buddy of mine who became a state trooper, right? He's like, it's actually more based on their experience working, that they'll look at a car and go, that could be a car that could do more than just speed. It might be a drug runner. It might be this and that. They're always looking for a bigger bust than what they're pulling you over for.
Yeah.
So, and everybody profiles. I mean, how do you not profile? You have to, right? When you're making a judgment call, you're basing it on some factors. So you're essentially profiling.
Wait, Winpoo says sometimes the cop car drives fast behind you and push you over the speed limit. I've never had anything like that happen. Normally when there's a cop car behind me, I start sweating and my anxiety ramps up real high and I slow down. I'm like, don't pull me over. Then, normally they don't. But I remember one day where, seriously, the cop must have been behind me for like 25, 30 minutes. And then finally he took off. I was just like, oh my God, man. Like, he wasn't like right up on my bumper, but he was following closer than he should, making me think this guy's probably going to pull me over. He never did, but I think that was just one of those cases where it was a cop who was bored and felt like messing with people or something, because, I mean, he was almost right up on my bumper for like 20 minutes straight going down the highway, and I'm just thinking, man, this dude is going to pull me over. But yeah, I don't know. When I was
I
younger,
just pull a lane over and let them pass. I mean, when they come up behind me fast, I assume they're in a rush. I just get out of the way. Just go, you know. Now, undercover, you don't know it's a cop. And I know some people don't like people riding their butt when they're driving on the highways. So you start speeding up, trying to, like, you know, put a little distance on them. That could get you. That's where they can get you. I don't know if, I mean, I personally never had that happen to me in all the years I've driven. But when I know someone comes up really fast with a particular kind of car, I just kind of have my suspicions it might be a cop. So I just move over and let them pass.
Yeah, that's what I've done. If I look in my rearview mirror and I see a cop car just hauling ass behind me, I pull over. And normally they just go on by, but I've never had one, you know, I've never had sped up or something. I've just pulled over, because the worst thing you can do is speed up. Yeah, if you see a cop way back there, just pull over to the side. It'll just go past you unless you were doing something wrong, you know.
Yeah, man. Look, the other day I had an interesting run-in with the cop, right? So I'm driving on a local road in traffic, and we're all moving different speeds. Now, you're not supposed to be looking at your phone in my state when you're driving.
Yeah.
You can get a ticket for that. So I was looking at my phone.
Oh.
And the cop pulls up next to me, right? And he's like, roll your window down. And I'm going, shit. Right? So I roll the window down. I look over at the guy. I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, I'm going to pull over the guy in front of you. Can you let me slip in?
Huh.
I was like, do what you got to do, sir. Go ahead. You know, go right in front. I'll stay right here. You just take care of it.
That's funny.
So I thought he got me for the phone, but actually he was looking to pull guy in front of me over for whatever they did back. I don't even know when they did something, but that was you know, you had that like sinking feeling for a moment when he told you to roll your window down. Roll your window down.
Yeah, really. You guys were driving down the highway and he's asking you to roll your window down?
No, the local road. It was a local road.
Oh, okay.
I was actually at a light.
Gotcha.
That's why I looked down at my phone, because I was at a red light. I'm thinking, you know, I got to check something real quick. Zyodic, it should be 11.8 or 12, depending on how slow Denny's been running.
Yeah, I just had I had a major game malfunction there, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I should be around the 11.8 lobby.
Ooh. System UI isn't responding. That's not good.
Yeah, I think that's an emulator problem. I think the emulator crashed, so I might even have to restart the entire emulator. I'm not sure. We'll see how she goes.
Give it a second. Yeah, you might be all right. I get that a lot too.
Yeah, I've never really seen that happen before. Loki says, wish we could share cars with friends. Share cars with friends? I don't know, man. They might crash your cars. Or get speeding tickets.
I think the issue is if they allow that kind of stuff into the game with the way the game is programmed already and how messy it is, it's just going to open the door to like major hacking, you know.
Plus, they would make less money, right? That's the other thing.
Plus, they would make less money, of course.
I mean, you got to remember, these games are businesses. Like, it's owned by a business whose goal is to make money, so they're not going to add anything in there that's going to, you know, allow other players to use other players' stuff or people to trade things, because that would be a lot less. They would lose a lot of money, probably. So,
yeah, definitely. They won't be able to sell you all these packages as easily.
Yeah. They're out to sell you everything they can. I mean, I know some people are like, oh, that's horrible, but I mean, you can't expect to go down to the grocery store and be like, hey, give me a bunch of free food, right? The grocery store, you only get stuff from there if you buy it. So companies aren't here to do us any favors. I mean, they're here to make us a fun game, but they want to charge us for it. So
yeah, they want to make money. So yeah, in the end, that's what all companies' goals are, right? You don't open a company to lose money. You open a company to make money.
Yep.
So now, arguably, do they need to make $3-4 million a month?
No. I mean, if I owned the game, I would try to find the right balance between keeping your players happy and making profit. Like, I think some games get a little bit greedy. Now, one thing about CSR is there's stuff for everybody. There's stuff for the free people. There's stuff for the paid people. There's something for everybody on this game, and a lot of games aren't like that. A lot of games, it's just like, if you don't give us money, you know, you can play for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then we're going to make sure you get stuck, and then at that point, you're never going to progress if you don't give us money. There's a lot of games that are like that, but this game, you can play for free as much as you want. I mean, I think everybody should buy something here and there if you're playing a game to support it, but, you know, I don't think everybody should be dropping hundreds of dollars a week or a month or something on these games if you don't have to, but I mean,
the issue is how much money you have to drop relative to what you're getting. And that's my biggest complaint about app games in general, is the economy is completely convoluted and out of whack because, right, you could buy an entire PC game or console game for $69.99.
Yeah.
And that's 200 hours usually worth of playing. These cars will last you one event, and you'll spend $150, $200 on some of these. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you buy a car for $20, it should come with at least like half of the stage 6 parts, or all of them, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not saying they should give it to us fully max, but remember the whole idea of fusions, stage 6s, they're just roadblocks to you maxing the car, right?
Yeah.
If you look at any racing game out there like Gran Turismo and stuff, an upgrade's an upgrade. I mean, what the hell is a fusion? What is a stage 6? Why does it even matter? Other than for the purpose of making you jump through hoops to get them.
Yep. They want you to buy
just
stuff.
way to monetize. That's all it is.
And I don't have any problem with the company wanting to make money, but I do think they should balance the prices out to where things are actually affordable for your average person. Like this game,
I think that's where Race Pass comes in, though.
I think the Race Pass is awesome.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to do 90% of the big events in this game, your average person can't do it.
No. You know, even long-term free-to-play players get stuck now because they're making paywalls for every event.
Yeah.
The recent events are the worst. I mean, they not just one, but 2 paywalls in some cases. That's just crazy to me.
If I could do an entire event for $20, $30, $40, that would be great. But, I mean, a lot of these are going to cost people. I've known some guys who have claimed to have spent $500 to try and finish an event and still weren't able to do it. So.
Yep. That happened when the first Fast and Furious came out. People jumped all over the Plymouth GTX, right? People spent $500 on that car, easy. Because back then you didn't have loyalty stuff. You didn't have paid crate. You had paid crates, but you didn't have loyalty. So you could pay nonstop, like $100 to get one stage 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was brutal. But people did it. I mean, the reality is, you know, for internet fame, some people are willing to spend that money. So I don't know. The truth is, if people really didn't spend, they would change the system, right? But I think people are spending. That's why the system's still here.
Yeah, they have enough people spending big amounts of money. Like, there's enough people out there who have a nice sized wallet who say, you know what, I don't mind spending a few $100 for this, and they do it. So they're making enough money off of that they're not going to change anything. But yeah, I think if you're right, if people weren't paying the prices, they would have to lower them. But people are obviously paying it. So
I hate to say it, but I know people like that. You know what their attitude is? I just want to be top in the game, and if I gotta pay to be on the top, I'm happy to pay. Look at you little plebs. You know, my godly wallet makes sure I stay on the top, and that's the people they're playing to with some of these events. And when you go into live lobby with that car, that's their, you know, or whatever, their top performance, whatever it is, that's the way they feel good, right? Okay, I'm here with a maxed out whatever, and who cares if I pay $2,000 for it? It's chump change for me. Of course, we're not talking about the hacking services on top of it, but this is just the mentality of some of the players in these games that spend a lot of money, is all I'm saying.
So I've spoken to a couple of different game developers over the years, and I was asking them, like, how are you guys actually making money? Like, don't you think lowering the prices would make more money because more people will be able to afford to buy stuff? Well, and their answer has always been the same thing. Well, we have a small percentage of the players, maybe like 5% of the players or 2% of the players, who are dumping out thousands of dollars. Like, every time we put out something, they dump thousands of dollars and so that 1 or 2 or 5% of the players that are paying the big bucks is making us more than if we were to make the prices affordable and had everybody buying stuff. I mean, that's hard to believe, but I've had 2 or 3 game developers actually tell me that, and that's kind of like, that's unreal to think that that small amount of people is spending that much, that it's making them more to keep the prices high and having those small percentage funding the entire game for the most part, right?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, what's the fun when you pay to win? They're not paying to win. They're paying to be on, to have that stuff that you don't have. Why does someone want a $50,000 Rolex?
Yeah,
right.
Really.
Why does someone need to drive a Lamborghini? It's that same feel. It's I got stuff that you can't afford, you peasant. That's literally. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's kind of the mentality behind that.
If I spent $50,000 on a watch, that better be like a time machine or something, man. 50,000. I can go out to Kmart and buy a watch for $20 and it's gonna do the same damn thing.
Yes, but you're not gonna have people, oogling your wrist when you show off your Rolex. I mean, we're not at that level of finances to think that way, right? I mean, I guess if you're making $100 million a year, a $50,000 watch is dirt cheap. I mean, to you that's like chump change. But no. I want that $200,000 watch.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. So, yeah. So I mean, it is the way it is. I mean, that's how people are. Why do billionaires all need a bigger yacht? Because they're comparing with each other. My yacht's bigger than your yacht.
Yeah,
right?
I don't really get that mentality. I mean, if I were filthy rich, let's just say I had more money than I knew what to do with it, I don't think I would be buying $50,000 watches. I mean, I might spend $50,000 on a stereo system, maybe a couple $100,000 on a stereo system, just because I love music. I want that music to sound better than anything I've ever heard before. But I don't think I would go out and buy this big, gigantic mansion like the Shaq's, Shaquille O'Neal. Dude, if you've ever seen his house, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like, oh my god, I don't even understand why. Like, what was he thinking when he had this thing built? Like, but no, I mean, I would buy a really nice little house. I would probably have a couple of decent cars. I'd have a hell of a nice stereo system, but, I just couldn't go out and spend.
I don't know about you, man. If I had that kind of money, I would get myself a palace.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. With tanks, airplanes, my own military, maybe
God.
An island or two. Yeah, why not a country? Might as well get a country.
No, I would be very different. I would probably take that huge amount of money I had and try and start some like charities and stuff like that. I would invest a small amount in it. I would invest a small amount of that in some sort of business that would keep bringing money in just in case. I would try and do a lot of nice stuff for people with it, but I don't know. That's just me. At least that's what I think. I mean, a lot of people say you might think that, and then all of a sudden the money starts rolling in and it changes you, and then you turn into this greedy buttmonger, whatever that is. And I don't know, people say like the money and power will change you. Like, once you start getting it in, all of a sudden you're like, hey, I want more. So I don't know. I'd like to think I wouldn't be like that, and I really don't think I would, but I guess you would never really know unless it happened.
No, a lot of these really rich people do give back, but it's kind of like what's a fair amount to give back, depending on what you have, right? You have billionaires out there with foundations that are paying, millions of dollars out to people for various causes, which is great.
Yes.
But it's all relative, right? I don't think any billionaire is going to pay more than 70% of their income into foundations. It just doesn't happen. But even if they pay 1% or 5% of their income into foundations, to us normal people, that's a huge amount. So
Ron G says Shaq does give back, maybe, but why in the world does he need that house that he bought? Like, he actually said this house has got how many rooms, and they asked him in an interview, how many of those rooms do you actually use? And he said something like 2. It's just like,
yeah, but I'm sure you can have great parties there.
Oh, dude, you could have a freaking you could like have a hotel and a rock concert, and all the bands would be able to stay there, and all the guests would be able to stay. I don't know. His house is crazy. I mean, I just don't understand why anybody would want something like that. It's crazy.
The short answer to that is why not? I can't, right? If you can, and that's what you want to do. Like, let's be honest here. Nobody needs a $6 million Koenigsegg car. Nobody needs it.
No.
Right? But would we like to have one if we could? Why not? Especially if you have the money, right? So for me, it's like I can afford the 1/18 scale model. So that's what I'd like to get.
Yeah.
Right? But if I actually had the money to afford the real thing, would I be against getting it? Not really. I would get it because that's what we like. Some people love watches. That's a big deal to them. I mean, I don't, but some people do.
I like watches, but I don't know.
You got guys paying like $15,000 or $20,000 for freaking sneakers.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's out there, but money is kind of a concept item. It's not really, right? It's a value that we place to it. What makes $20,000 sneakers better than a $50 sneaker if you're just wearing it on your feet and they both work? But there's some prestige, I guess, or whatever attached to it. Like what's his name was wearing $1 million shorts fighting Mike Tyson.
He was wearing $1 million shorts?
Yeah, $1 million shorts, man.
I didn't even know such a thing would have existed. Like,
yeah, diamond-studded shorts.
Oh my god, I had no idea. I mean,
I was hoping that he'd get like a diamond rash burn from that thing moving around, but like he's not. But I
don't know about that guy, honestly.
No,
I'm not sure if it's true, but I hear they're both being sued because somebody was able to prove that the fight was rigged. But then again, that's something I saw on YouTube, and there's so many videos. What I hate about YouTube is half the videos you watch, you don't know if it's real or fake. You don't know if it's just some crap somebody made up to get views or if it's a real deal. I mean, YouTube's pretty... I don't know.
YouTube is full of fake stuff,
yes,
and they're not regulating it. So I take everything with a grain of salt, because with AI now being part of it, they're just like a torrent, an avalanche of absolute crap coming out of YouTube everywhere.
They need to fact check that stuff. I mean, if somebody's putting out fake information, those videos should not be allowed to be on YouTube.
Well, alternative facts is a legitimate thing now. People believe in it, right? You can't fact check something because they don't believe your fact check.
Yeah.
So what qualifies you as a legitimate source of fact checking even? So it never ends. I mean, it's like a it's like a rabbit hole. Once you get down that thing, it's so hard to. Anyway, it's crazy, but it's affecting the way people think, which is scary.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many people that get bad information off YouTube, and they go out and they're telling people this and that and the other thing. It's like, well, that wasn't even real. That never even happened. That person never said that. I don't know. There's
that guy died, and he posted a YouTube video up. No, I'm alive, man. I'm actually still alive.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Hey, Tommy. Oh, it's crazy stuff nowadays. But guys, my YouTube videos are all fact checked and legit. I don't use AI fix. Just a disclaimer, real quick. And Denny's too. Denny's stuff is legit. He actually tested it. So
there's probably a mistake every once in a while on my channel, but I try to make sure everything is as real and as accurate as possible, unless I mess up.
I mean, we could all be wrong too. I mean, we could just be outright wrong. Like there have been times when I made an opinion on something, and then somebody popped in my channel and said, "Hey, you know, it actually does do that." I go, "Oh, I missed this somehow," but it happens.
Yeah, that does happen, and it sucks if you find out you made a mistake on a video, like a big one. You're like, "Oh crap."
Yeah, I've taken down a few videos over the year just because of that, but well, so if you bump into like a bot lobby, what I find is right now the matchmaking seems real sensitive to like what I would call off tunes, right? Tunes that doesn't fit their definition of what's the normal expected range.
Yeah.
And you can get kicked into these weird empty lobbies. Basically, the computer's like, I don't know what the hell this is, so I'm gonna just throw you in here for now until I figure it out. If you sit there long enough, eventually somebody shows up, but it's almost like the matchmaking's going, I don't know what the hell you just did, so I'm not going to do anything with you. I'm just going to put you in an empty lobby. And I have that quite often, so I know that, you know, as I'm playing with different tunes, usually by bumping it 100th one or other direction, I end up finding people again. So just let you guys know. All right, Denny, I'm going to step away for 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. I will catch you in a bit then. Yeah, sorry if I'm kind of neglecting the live chat today, guys, but my multitasking skills are not wonderful today. Like I'm tired, I don't feel good, my sinuses are messed up. Max is here, you guys are here, I'm racing, and man, it's a lot of stuff. But the good news is you get to hear me and Max chat, and hopefully you guys find it interesting. No, I appreciate everybody coming out today. Thank you. We definitely appreciate you guys being here. And of course, if you guys haven't checked out Max the Gamer on YouTube, you might want to subscribe to his channel. He puts out some really good videos as well. William D says the only person that hasn't made a mistake was Jesus. Are we sure he never made any mistakes? Because I bet even he made some mistakes. I would think. I could be wrong, but I would bet everybody that's ever existed in the entire world has had to make some kind of mistake at some point. At least I would think. But I could be wrong. What's up, Silent? How's it going? Good to see ya. Yeah, Odom, it sucks when the game disconnects, but this game loves to disconnect. I don't think that's a bug. I think that's a feature, right? They built the disconnection feature into the game just to give us something to talk about. They're like, hey, you know, if we do this, that'll be like bringing up a lot of controversy, and all the players will be talking about it. And some bad publicity is better than no publicity. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up now, but you know how it goes. Wait a second, ProTune, are you calling us old people, man? That's not very nice. I think he's calling us a bunch of old fogies. That is not nice at all. Okay. I'll tell you what though, I really do like the Indie truck because it's pretty cool. Personally, I wish I had all the Stage 6 parts for it, but one of these days we'll get there. I'm not sure, but it seems like maybe they've made the race passes a little bit easier lately. Like the last two I've actually completed and I didn't really even try. So before that, you know, without trying, I was getting really close, but I wasn't completing them. But yeah, the last two I completed no problem. I mean, not really no problem. I mean, I just barely made it, but I wasn't actually trying. But when I saw, hey, I made it to the last thing, I was like, cool, I'm going to buy this. So I did purchase the last 2 race passes. What really sucks though is like the first one, it kind of tricks you into thinking you have stage 6 parts for a car, and then you spend your universals. So the first race pass, I spent the 2 universals by mistake. I was like, man, that sucks, but you know, I kind of learned a lesson from that. So William D says, you got a long way to go to make it. Yep. Getting old. I don't like it. Darker Knight says, why God made us so stupid? I don't know, but I wish all people were very intelligent. It would be nice if everybody was really smart and intelligent, and people had like good common sense and just didn't like overreact and freak out and go nuts and do all kinds of bad things. I mean, I think a lot of the people who do a lot of bad stuff, it's just, they're just unintelligent people that don't know any better or something. I'm not really sure, but it'd be nice if everybody could just be like respectable human beings and treat each other well. You know what I mean? That would be great. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there doing horrible stuff or whatever. I mean, it would be nice if everybody was a little more just like well balanced, I guess you would say. Darker Knight says 50% intelligent people would be nice. Protein says it's so common nobody has it. I hear you, my man. There's a lot of people out there that have no common sense. Like, I know a few people who can go to school and they can get straight A's and tell you all these facts, but when it comes to like everyday life, they can barely tie their shoes. They're just like so dumb for everyday life. Like, they do everything wrong. They can't figure nothing out, but they can go to school and they're like geniuses. But when it comes to everyday life, it's like somebody almost needs to follow them around and like direct them and make their decisions for them. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy that some people are like that too. Like, I know a few people like that, and it's just like, that's kind of sad, really. Like, some of the stuff I've seen or heard people do, it's just like, oh my god, what is wrong with you? And then they're like this genius when it comes to, you know, like science or who knows what. Protein says, basically me 5 years ago. Ibrahim says, I can't find you in the live race. I gotta be around here somewhere. I should be around the 11.8 lobby, guys. Somewhere in that area for sure. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you guys for being here. So is me and Max, are our speaking voices, are they pretty even? Like around the same volume and all that good stuff?
Yeah, hello, I'm back.
Oh, Max has returned.
Yeah, my doggy needed me. He was looking for something to do. He's like, what are you doing? You need to come here.
Alright, I'm a little louder than Max. Like a lot louder or just a little bit? I mean, it's really hard to get things at exactly the same volume, but as long as he's not like quiet or, you know, if we're close, that's all that matters. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's nice having a dog, but man, they can definitely take up some time.
Of course, they're like little kids.
Yeah.
And when they want some, they want some. They're like, hey, I need it now.
It's kind of funny, but like pets have personality. You know, like some dogs, they're just like, whatever. And they like don't even care about human attention. Other dogs are like, hey, people, ha, ha. And they go nuts.
Oh, yeah. They're like little kids, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a German Shepherd. And these guys are smart and demanding, right? And when they get bored, they're bored. Like, I'm bored. I need to do something.
I gotta think, though.
He's not destructive, at least.
Like, imagine being a dog. Like, a lot of dogs, you can just say crate, and they'll go in their crate and hang out, and they're in there for hours. Like, that must be awful. Like, some people will crate their dog all day long where they're at work. I mean, some dogs you have to, or they'll tear up your house, but it would be awful. I mean, what would you do? Imagine being in a crate for like 8-10 hours a day. How horrible would that be?
It's like jail. That's basically what it is. So
I mean, how would a dog? I mean, I wonder what that would be like. I mean, do the dogs mind? I mean, makes you.
Well, you know
wonder.
what's interesting about dogs, and not to say I know much about dogs, but based on my understanding, is dogs were bred to please us, right? So their mentality is they want to please you, but breeding them, especially high energy dogs like a shepherd, is really bad for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't actually crate my doggy now. I crated him when he was little because it's safer for him. But once he became more mature and understood the rules around the house, we let him loose. And even when I go out now, he just sleeps on his bed. He has his own big bed that he sleeps on that he loves. You know, dogs sleep a lot. Yeah, he goes to bed before I do. So at night I'm pretty much free because he's sleeping, and then but he gets up and he's ready, right? You know, 6 o'clock he's up and ready to go. Like, hey, let's go play.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot to live for other than food, poop, and play.
I wish I could sleep 12 hours a day. I used to when I was younger. Like, if somebody wouldn't wake me up, I would seriously sleep for like 12 hours. It was
Have a good one, guy. Yeah. So I've moved on to Shacks. I am working on the 75 wins with Shacks. Oh.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How long does it take to do 75 wins? That's the question.
A decent amount of time. And I'm not even going to get into it, but let's just say it's a really decent amount of time.
Get your stopwatches out.
Now, we have a wild card going as well, so at least I'm making 1700 RP a race versus your normal like 900 or something with this car. But slow and steady.
Wild cards are good. I like wild cards.
Yeah, I mean, notice that they have never fixed the issue with wildcard of not allowing any random member to just activate it, right? You would think that's such an easy fix to do, but they just never fixed it.
I actually talked to them about that once. I mean, I don't know who it was I talked to. I think it was just support or something, but they were like, oh, you know, we actually want that to be one of those things where any member in the crew can activate it. We want everybody to be able to participate. And I'm just thinking, why? Like, that should be a crew. Like, a crew should be able to make that. You know, there should be a button on there where you can lock it to where only admins, or if you want everybody to use it, then you should be able to unlock it so anybody can do it. But yeah, there should be a lock and unlock button for crews. That way, I mean, nobody wants to show up for the scheduled wild card and find out somebody already started it, and then, man, it's not even running today. You know, I waited all day for this, and somebody started the damn thing. But yeah,
I mean, that's so. If they didn't have the whole milestone crew and whole RP, like managed RP thing, I guess it wouldn't matter who activates wildcard.
Yeah. But
when you're telling people you need to form a crew, you need to have organization, right? Then you don't give them the tools. That's just kind of, yeah. But
now, unless the wild card ran for just you, like if you activated it and you were the only person, you know, it'd be kind of cool if like everybody could activate the card once it was full, just for them. Like it would be a use per person type of deal. Now that would be sweet.
I mean, everybody gets a shot at it though, not just used up after one dude, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like, you know, I could activate it. Like, let's just say we filled up the wild card and I activate it. Then that means I could get it for an hour. Then the next guy could activate it when he was ready. Then the next guy when he was ready. That way everybody could activate it per person. Like, each person could
that'd
activate
be
it.
great, but that would actually work to our benefit, so therefore it's not
Yeah.
going to be implemented. But that would be awesome if it actually worked that way, right? But
Yeah, that would
we
be
know
like
it's never
super
gonna
nice.
happen. Yeah.
Ron G says
Alright.
nothing worse than a new player joining your crew. Yeah, that's why we start at that little chat room on the Line app, and we take people in there and we say, hey, you're not allowed to activate our wild cards. We expect you to make this much. And then we ask, hey, do you agree to all this stuff? And we haven't really had too many issues ever since. But before we started doing that, we constantly had everybody mess up the cards. I mean, we used to kick so many people out of the crew. They would come in. We would say something like, you know, in the game chat, like, don't activate the wild cards. Then, like, the second or third time they would do it, all right, kick them out.
But I mean, I understand when you're in like a dead crew, right? Nobody cares about the wild card, and if it somehow magically got filled, you would just click it and be like, all right, I'll take the bonus. You guys don't do anything anyway. But once you have an organized crew, that's a whole different story. So
yeah,
wow,
sure.
you're in there with some. You're in there with the Tuatara. You're in there with the CN Roadster. These guys are all. I mean, I suspect the Tuatara is probably set up to beat Dino. It's almost pointless to set it up any other way. But oh, thanks, Silent.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I see there's only I don't know how many likes there actually is, but on my screen there's only 6.
Only
and
6
there's like 59
likes.
people watching. So
hit that like button, guys. It only takes a second, and it's free. And supposedly it helps the YouTube channels if you hit the like button. So, ooh, man, that thing looked awesome coming down the track. I love the way the cars look on the rainy track. I guess they made all the extra gloss for the, you know, the cars are supposed to have that wet look. But it just brings out like so much extra detail, and I don't know, the cars look awesome on this track. I love this track. I wish this track was every track just because everything looks sweet on it.
you know, I did have to say, you see how the water's running down the screen on this one?
Yeah.
Like a lot of games that have water effects, right, on the windshield couldn't even do it as well as this.
That's true.
Right? If you play other stuff like even Gran Turismo and Forza, the ring effect on your windshield when you're driving in first person doesn't have the quality of this. This is actually really well done. I kind of wish that would be the effect if I was driving in the ring in like one of these other games, but again, I think because this is more of a static screen rather than visually dynamic like in the other games, it's easier to do it here. Still, they did a great job with it.
Oh, the graphics on this game, it's amazing that this is a mobile game. Like, I don't think there's a mobile game out there that has graphics that look like this.
Not a car game, absolutely not. Yeah, this is hands down one of the best graphics for a car game, period.
I mean, they almost look real.
It's better than Forza. Think about it.
Yeah, kind of. In some ways it is, actually.
In the details. Because I compared it, actually, when I was playing Forza Horizon, I actually did an up-close view of the cars and looked at the details compared to what we have in CSR2. And Forza actually got a lot of the details either sloppy looking or completely wrong. But that's why this game is so many gigs, too, because it's all graphics.
Yeah. The game's huge. A lot of people don't like that. 24 keeps losing live races and has a maxed out car. Well,
that's your first mistake.
Yes.
Maxed out car.
Like, if you watch any of my videos where it shows you how to set up a car for live racing, you'll notice it's all on low upgrades. Like, the lower upgrade cars seem to get bigger advantages in live racing, but when you get into some of those really fast lobbies, you're getting lumped in with all the fastest cars. Like, the live racing on this game is all kinds of weird and wacky how it's set up. The matchmaking is all kinds of nutso, so you gotta learn which cars are actually good for live racing and how to set them up. So
what car are you using, 24? So, I mean, let's find out what car he has first, because then we can go from there.
I mean, some cars.
Yeah, the ice
are,
map would have been cool. The one with the submarine coming through the ice from Fast and Furious. That's a cool track. I'm surprised they never brought that back.
I don't remember that one.
So during one of the Fast and Furious series, remember in the movie there was a race on the ice?
Yep.
Well, they had a racetrack in here that did the same thing. That you had the submarine come up as you finished through the finish line.
Oh man, I never really had any of the Fast and Furious cars, so I never did those events.
Yeah, but that was
cool.
like 4 years ago. It wasn't. I haven't seen that track in like 4 years.
The Salt Flat, that's another track I would like to see make a comeback. Those Salt Flat tracks were awesome.
Oh yeah, we had that for one event, right? Recently.
Yeah.
That was like, yeah.
I was hoping they would add that to the live racing tracks. But
Okay, so you have the electric Lamborghini, right? The one with the glowing wheels. The Millennial. That's the electric one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a cool live racer on lower upgrades.
Yeah, but that one does not actually max out well. So as you put more parts in, its evo actually, and the ratio gets worse and worse. So, plus it beats Dyno. So depending on whether you've been running it beating Dyno, you might have killed it to some degree and bumped it. So it's tricky with that car. I happen to like that car, but again, it's a tricky car to use and set up.
So the first thing you need to know is when your live racing car is beating the dyno time, after so many races, the game will pick up that car and move it to the next faster lobby. And then it'll do it again, and then again, and then again, and next thing you know, your car can't win live races anymore. So you gotta be really careful using a live racer that beats the dyno. I don't know, the live racing matchmaking is crazy on this game.
Right, so the matchmaking really has been updated yet again. I think they're tweaking this constantly without telling us, right?
Yes.
All in the name of game balance, I'm sure. So I'm sure natural motions go, and I understand this is fair, and this is what they want, is to put everybody on the equal level within a lobby so that nobody has advantage, nobody can beat the other guy with dyno or whatever.
That'd be great if they can make it work.
But they can't, right? Because these cars are tuned all differently. So what they do now is one of the latest things I noticed, at least, is that as soon as you make a run, whatever you ran, the computer will then immediately try to rematch make you accordingly with the new guy that comes into the lobby. So let's say you just ran a 11.8. Chances are the next guy that pops into your lobby was hand selected by the computer to be the closest to what you just ran as an opponent. Which means each time you run fast, your next opponent that pops in the lobby could be a faster car. So you have to run faster to beat that guy, and then faster to beat that guy. You see how this can end up being a problem. Now, if you run slow and win, the next guy that come in may also be slower. So it's kind of more of a more, how would I put it, more varied matchmaking, more dynamic than before.
What I really
which
wish
also
it
leads
would do
to these weird empty lobbies.
What I wish it would do would be able to calculate your car's runs. Like, what is this car capable of running, right? And then put you in the appropriate lobby. Like, let's just say your car is capable of running a 7.2. Well, it should throw you into the 7.2 lobby, whether you're driving it at 7.2 or not. But if your car can hit 7.2s, that's where it should put you. If your car hits 10.4s, it should put you in the 10.4 lobby. That's just how it goes. It shouldn't really be based on the dyno time. It should be based on what the car can actually run. And the computer should be able to figure that out somehow, you would think, right?
Yeah, but it's not that simple for them, because I don't think the developers realize which cars can beat dyno by how much, because of don't forget, by having this introduction of this tuning thing in the game, there are millions of variable points.
Yeah.
If you're really talking about all the cars, they can't control that. You can't just say if A then B when you have that many variables. It just doesn't work, right? So I think what they did, and again, I'm speculating. I'm not a programmer. I have no idea what they actually did. But my speculation is they have some parameters within the matchmaking. Say, if performance point is X, right, range, and Evo point is Y range, and if Dino is X range, then lobby, XYZ possibility. But if you run X, then Y happens. So this is how programming works, right? Computer programming tends to be, if this, then that kind of thing, but on a more complicated level than I'm making it. But I suspect what they're doing now is say, if car runs X, then bring car that also runs last run near X to the matchmaking kind of thing. So it's more dynamic than before, but regardless. Stuff that's kind of over our heads when it comes to the details. And certainly, they're not going to tell us how they do it because then everybody would cheat the system. So,
does anybody have any idea what Max just said there?
I don't even have any idea what I just said there, so it's okay. It's okay if you didn't get it, because I'm not sure I get it.
Darker Knight says, this is rocket science. I'm out of here.
I'm out. This is the most interesting part about this game is the matchmaking and the tuning.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Without these two things, this game is boring as hell.
True.
But with these two things thrown in, now we have all these crazy variables that actually keeps us thinking and playing. At least for me it does. I don't know. Other people may just play just because mash buttons and win. Haha. But, and let's be honest, the cars look so good. I don't even mind just looking at them now and then and doing that. I mean, I like that. So
William D says it's boring with the variables.
Boring with the variables.
So you would like to just push a button and the car launches and every single car runs a 6.6 and then everybody gets a tie and everybody wins.
Yeah. Look, drag racing in real life, there are people that consider drag racing boring, right? If you never drag raced and you just look at it, you could say, yeah, that's kind of boring. But if you actually got involved with drag racing and understand what goes into those cars, the drivers, the reaction time, controlling your wheel spin so you don't end up on the wall, it becomes a lot more exciting. And that's the kind of the thing with this game. It's like, if you're not into the tuning and the matchmaking and the live racing, then it just slap together a car, make sure it's the fastest for showdown, and you're done.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I never realized, especially when you're driving a stick shift, how hard it is to get a good launch on a drag racing car, because you give it a little bit too much gas, your wheels spin, you just lost a couple tenths of a second. I mean, you really do got to get a good launch. I think that's the hardest part of drag racing in real life, is getting a good launch and then good shifts, right? Because
reaction time at the light is critical.
Yes.
But this game, and this is the typical mistake of guys who actually drag race that plays this game, is we think the reaction time matters. It must matter. It's reaction time. It doesn't do a thing in this game. You can go -2 seconds and still win.
You
right?
can,
It has nothing to do with anything. It just has everything to do with when you launch more than anything else. Launching perfect doesn't help you in most cars. So you have to give up some of your normal understanding of drag racing in real life, of course. But what does work here is that, a car that somehow can beat the dyno and land in a lobby where other cars are just dynoing slower will win. I mean, that's the bottom line. So
yeah, I really enjoy just taking the car, playing around with it, finding a couple of different live racing setups and stuff like that. I mean, that's fun for me. I mean, I probably don't live race as much as I would like to, but I don't know. I enjoy setting up cars for live racing. I mean, you can find the easy live racing setup, or if you want to, you can just really go in depth and keep tweaking and tuning and tweaking and tweaking until you find the craziest. Normally, I don't do that because it takes hours and hours. I'll find a good live racing setup, then I'll play with it for a little bit here and there, and then sometimes I'll optimize it a little bit. But I mean, some people, if you have enough time, I mean, you can really get into the tuning like crazy. I mean, some people love that.
I mean, that's so it you can build what I call the 80 percentile cars very easy, right? You can win about 80% of the races out there easily in a particular lobby. It's always stipulated on a particular lobby. Then you can build a 90 percentile car that can win 90% against most opponents.
Yeah.
And then you have that, what I call like the apex tune for a lobby, which is that's the car that's going to win 100% of the time when push comes to shove. Because if I go all out, I'm going to beat you, right? The only thing about that is I really don't get to use it all out, because if I do, it's probably going to kill my car.
Yes, you'll get bumped.
You get bumped. So what I do is I build what I consider to be 80%, 90% setups, and I kind of leave it there, because usually if the guy's going to whoop me that bad on a 90% tune, I'll let him have it, because I'm too lazy to reset my cars constantly. Okay.
Yeah, I like the good 70 or 80% tunes, because I normally don't have to worry about them running over. I don't have to worry about getting bumped. I don't have to worry about resetting the car. I would rather have a tune that wins the majority of the races that I know isn't going to constantly get bumped. I mean, some cars, in my opinion, the best one is the car that runs at the dyno and doesn't normally run over. Then you don't even have to pay attention to it. You can just run it all out on every race, and as long as you got a good run, bam, you're staying in that lobby. You're not going to get bumped. But this thing I'm playing here, if I don't, I got to really watch what I'm doing, or I'm going to be bumped quick in this car. So I gotta make sure I'm running slow runs. I gotta make, if I run a little fast, I need to make sure I get some slow runs in there as well, because it's a crazy car.
I agree with that to a point, but here's the weakness of that concept, Danny. Because if you have a car that never beats dyno, right, and you only run max out your dyno, remember your dyno becomes your lobby that you're locked into, meaning you can't beat anything faster than that. Let's say 11.8.
Yeah.
Okay, so your best run is 11.8. You're in the lobby starting maybe at 12.4. Then you run once or twice 11.8 because somebody pushed you. You go into 12.2. Then you run once or twice 11.8 because somebody pushed you. Now you're in 12.0. But there are now cars that in 12.0 that dyno's 11.6 and can run 11.4s. Your 80 percentile car now is not going to be an 80 percentile car. Against those cars, it's 100% loss. That's the issue I see with tuning and not able to beat dyno as needed. Not saying I want to beat dyno, but I want that margin of error available to me. If my car from 11.6 somehow ended up in my 11.8, 12.0 lobby, I still want to be able to win. So that's kind of where I tune.
Yeah.
I'm hedging I'm sandbagging a little bit. I'm hedging my bets here, right? I don't usually throw 200K up, so naturally, I'm not the kind of player that will care if you happen to outrun me.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing to lose. I mean, big deal, I lost a race, right? My ratios, I don't care about either. So those are the kind of thing. The guys that tune, they're guys that, and they're in my crew, and Millen's same way, and I agree with them. They are tuning for the apex. They're tuning for a lobby that they want to win. They just, if you push me, I'm going to win. That's a different style tuning.
Yeah.
Come on, Millen. I'm not giving away any secrets. Don't worry. But I'm just saying Millen's really, he tunes to win, which is a different starting point than tuning just to win some of the races versus all of the races. But, we don't push that hard is the difference. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Like, you guys who race me in live, I lose as often as I win, because it's not a big deal to me. Like, I'm always testing how to control my cars, and sometimes you slow down just a hair too much, you lose by a few hundreds, a thousands or two. It happens. But it doesn't hurt my feelings. And I don't always immediately re-challenge people, because if I think you're already moving on the fast end of what I want to run, I don't want to bump my car. So I'll go find I want to call them victims, but I want to find a different victim.
Gosh.
Because, I don't necessarily want to hurt my car in the process of trying to prove my tune is faster than your tune kind of thing. but in the end, whatever makes it fun for you, that's what's important. So, and again, you cannot win them all, because if you actually win them all, the game will punish you. That's kind of how the matchmaking is set up.
I want to win most of them, not all of them.
But you can win most of them, yes, and you can win the. I mean, Nabil's not here today, but he's the guy in my crew that like loves 200K bets, right? And he's set up to take them. Like, you raise that bet, there's a 99% chance he's gonna take it from you.
How does he keep that from being bumped, though? Does he go just run the next race really slow?
He would not run a race fast unless it's a 200K bet. And if you're running average races all the time and you take one or two 200K bet runs, you're fine. You're not gonna bump instantly.
All right, so he's not trying to 200K bet everybody then.
No, he doesn't. He just, when people bet him, he's not going to back off. It's kind of the thing, because he's already set up to be ready. I get people raising 5,000. I just race them. I don't actually re-raise them. Yeah.
I have 2 or 3 cars where if somebody bets me 200K, I'm going to race them because it's going to win most of the time. But when I'm in my normal cars, I'm just like, no thanks. The guy's got a down tune,
Yeah. And losing a few races is a way to set the car back a lot of times. So, it depends. I mean, we all know which cars are going to beat Dyno a lot, which cars don't. Sometimes people surprise me, but it's rare.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nabil is a beast, and he is free to play 100% too. So that's somebody who's really understood. They understand the game, and they understand how to squeeze the most out of the game, and not everybody can do that. So now, good purple star cars arguably give more points. That's a general truth, but they're like the F1 gives more points than the equivalent purple star car. Now with collections, your deleted cars that plus that extra 5% now could pretty much run neck and neck on RP with the F1. So a lot of things to look at nowadays with the RP generation of cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables. I mean, I'll tell you what though, if you elite tuners cars and legends cars already make a lot, if you can somehow put some extra bonuses on top of those are probably going to be like the highest earning cars in the game for sure. So
yeah, I mean, I have a Regera Gold Star that I deleted many years ago, right, when Tempest 1 came out. That car is now in collections. I just got a 5% bonus from collections. Now the car really makes good RP.
Yeah.
I mean, like I just happened to pull it out to play the other day just to mess with it, and I was like, wow, the RP is really good.
Like
because I forgot I got another 5%.
If you could go into the Tempest thing, elite your GR Supra, and then get the collections bonus on top of that, that car would be making a huge amount. You know what I mean? That car would be making a buttload of RP, because that's one of the highest earning cars in the game to begin with. And then you get those 2 bonuses on top of it. Now it's even better. So, yep.
GR Supra, the problem with the GR Supra is that it's just a hard car to keep viable in live. I mean, it just, for some reason, they programmed that car to not be as stable as some of the other cars I've played with.
I don't know. I would say that for me, that's about a 70% car.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 70% car, which for some of us, 70% is kind of a low ratio. We like 90% cars or 90% tunes, but regardless, it's fine. Because you got to understand, Danny, I lose about 20% of my races, whether because I'm slowing down too much or because, I was looking at my other account at the same time. I end up live racing 2 accounts because people tend to challenge me right after each other. So I'm like banging my mouse from one screen to the other trying to keep up, and it gets kind of messy. So
Now Melon doesn't like the Sesto Elemento, but I have very good luck live racing it on stage 5. Like it's probably another 70% car for me, which in my opinion, that's a pretty good live racer. Now Melon wants something that's going to win pretty much every single race. So I'm guessing that's why he's not a fan of that one, because it's not going to win everything, but it's going to win a good majority of the races, but it's not like one of the best live racing cars in the game, but it can be set up to do pretty decent. So, I mean,
Sven, for pure... Oh, sorry, Dan.
everybody has different ideals of like what's, you know, acceptable, or like, I didn't say that right. Like, I don't know. I mean, Melon wants to win. Melon wants to go in there and dominate the live racing lobbies and just make little kids cry. He beat my car.
But F1 over GR Supra for pure RP generation, because I think F1 is able to tune easier for live racing as well overall. But GR Supra is fine too. So Sven, as far as your choice is concerned, if your F1 is more built, I would stick with the F1. Okay, but GR Supra, again, in the slower lobbies, particularly 9 to 11 range, the GR Supra is a very solid car.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, whichever one you enjoy driving better. I mean, if you don't like driving one, for example, I don't like driving the F1, even though it's an awesome car. So I would take the Supra over the F1 any day. But if you enjoy the F1, it's definitely going to be the better car.
Yeah, I enjoy switching cars too. I get bored if I use the same car. This is why these 75 win things make me cringe. I don't even win 75 times with any one car at any given time. So this is ridiculous to me. But I have, right now, I think I have 16 garages of live racers. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what, 90, 100 live racers I use, and I alternate between them. So, you know, some of them are better than others, of course, but, you know, I love switching different cars.
Yeah, I like changing around as well.
Yep.
Like, usually
I'll
use...
F1 easier to drive in slower lobbies too. That's correct too.
Normally, I'll do a live racing session with one car. I mean, every time I change to something different. I mean, there's some I do drive more than others, but I don't know.
Yep.
I probably got about. Can't talk. I bet I got about a good, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 garages full of live racing cars, and I've got more that are good. There's some that I need to move over to my live racing garage, because sometimes I'll see a car in there, I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot that's a good one, then I'll go drive it. But I need to find,
right,
one day I need to go, what's up, Max?
Oh, sorry, Sky's Limit was asking what lobby you're in. I think you're in 11, 8, 12.
Yeah, it should be 11, 8. But one day I need to go through all my cars and move all the live racers over. Nowadays, though, since we have the search function, I'm not really too worried about getting my cars out of whack. But
yeah, so quick question about what's considered good RP, right? I would say any car that makes 1300 RP without wildcards would be a good car. Okay, 1200 plus RP per race is a good car.
Yeah, if you can get 1200 or more, that's nice.
You'll be fine. Because with the wild card, you're looking at probably 2,000 plus, and 150 card, you would be almost like 2,500 plus. So that's a lot. So anything that makes less than 1,000 RP is definitely not tuned well, because the Evo must be too low. So
or it's a crappy car.
You know, 1,100 plus, Darker Knight is correct as well. 1,100 plus are all viable. And don't forget, Tier 4, Tier 3, it's completely different than Tier 5, right? So that's kind of the thing that I look for. But at least over 1,000 Evo minimum to make full RP for most Tier 5s. So that's something to consider as well. But of course, you know, if you're at 674 performance point and 1,000 Evo, you're not going to do well in live. It's unfortunately, the matchmaking doesn't favor that anymore. So,
I mean, even if you may have a car making 800 or 900 Evo, that's okay. But I mean, you're still going to be able to rack up some points with it. But you really want to find the cars hitting 11, 12, 13s, 14s. I mean,
yeah. You know, the Tier 4 cars in particularly in lower, I mean not lower, but slower range lobbies, like anything slower than 11.2, the Tier 4s are pretty good cars to use, and in fact it's easier to build a Tier 4 than a Tier 5, so absolutely use them. Millen will tell you I'm anti Tier 4 cars, okay? I'm not anti tier 4 cars. I guess I'm just greedy. I like to make more cash, so I always use tier 5 cars. And over the years, I've just been so busy tuning tier 5 cars, I kind of neglected a lot of the tier 4s. But as he will tell you, there are many very, very good tier 4 cars in the game. And more so now than ever. Like these new tier 4s, the BMW, the M4 CSL, the Gladiator, the various newer tier 4 cars that are coming in, the Z34, they're all really good. And they have good advantage in live lobby overall, so good cars all around. LC500, of course, that's another one.
All right, Nitex has a pretty interesting question here. So we only got about 10 minutes left on the stream anyways, but I think this one's still available. So, all right, so the add-on Elite Tuner events that are timed, really, I mean, all those are really giving you is, hold on a second. You're getting a little bit of bells and whistles, a few parts, some body kits, some rims, some stuff like that. So if you don't complete the event, you're really only missing out on some cosmetic upgrades. I think this one's still up here, right? I'm not, like, for example, this has 7 days left. I'm not really interested in finishing this because I don't want to dump any more tokens into this. But, you know, at race number 50, if I don't do that, I'm never going to unlock that. I think that's a livery or something. So I'm not going to unlock those liveries. If I don't, I guess that's the only thing I'm not going to be able to unlock. But the car is still going to be exactly the same, right? The car is going to be exactly the same. No big deal if I don't finish those. It looks like I can go do one race right now and get a stage 6 part, so I might as well go do that. But I mean, the car is still going to be just as awesome. You're just not going to get all the cosmetics. So if you do finish one, sweet. If you don't, no big deal. I mean, it's still the same car. You just can't make it look as cool or whatever, you know what I mean? Hopefully I said that well. But the weird thing is, I actually went all the way up. I don't understand why. The game must have reset my progress because I got all the way up to the race where I had to have the stars, and for some weird reason, it must have kicked me back. So I guess I have to do these 2 extra races again. But yeah, I really wouldn't worry about it because the thing is, I focused on the main set of Elite Tuners events until I finished those. I didn't even do any of the add-on events whatsoever. I might have done a few races here and there just to collect a few extra tokens. But the truth is, I mean, I never even upgraded half of those add-on Elite Tuners cars. I finished the original set. It took me 2.5 years. I got the Mark IV Supra, which was my goal, was to get that Mark IV Supra. And now when there's an Elite Tuners event, I usually get the car up to like 5 golden stars, run through as much of it as possible, and then I don't finish the last little bit, and then I'm fine. So that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, if you want to spend some money and buy the rest of the tokens to finish the event first, that's cool, but the only thing you're gaining are some body kits, some rims, some liveries, some paint jobs, stuff like that. If that makes sense to you guys. Yeah, like right now it says not enough stars, so I can't finish that event unless I want to put more tokens into it, which I don't. I don't like this car enough. I like this car, but it's not like the best Elite Tuners cars in the game. It's kind of like one step below, but I still like it. I mean, most of the time when I drive this anyway, I'm just going to set this up for live racing and drive it as a live racing car, which requires lower upgrades anyways. But if you take a look at like my S7 here, if I can find it, yeah, my Sylvia, I've done nothing with this car, so unfortunately I'm kind of stuck with the car the way it is because I didn't do the event. But if I upgrade the car, it's still going to be amazing. Like, I would love to be able to hit customize and put all the different body kits and stuff on it, but you know, I can't get those, unfortunately. So yeah, there's a couple. I mean, I got the choice of this or this, but if I go over to like liveries, if I can find it, let's go to colors. You'll notice that I can't put any of these on the car. I mean, that's really all you're missing out on is the whatever you call it, cosmetic stuff. Oh, the stream is going to end in a couple minutes, KB. Unfortunately, our 2 hours is about up. Max, you still there, man?
I'm here.
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt you talking, so yeah. So I'm typing as you're talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't chime in. I was like, oh man, I wonder if Max crashed, but
No, I'm here. I always talk over you, so I feel bad. I'm trying to stay quiet for a little bit.
it's all right, man. I mean, Max shows up. You're not on that often, so I think people listening to you talk about stuff. So
yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about, but I don't have a lot of input to this other than just make sure you get all your upgrades and fusions before you purple star it.
Yeah.
So you don't end up regretting the paid crates showing up. But other than that, I don't focus on Elite Tuner much at all. I've been really lazy about it. Partly reasons because I dislike Showdown. So, without Showdown, you don't get enough tokens, and it becomes a vicious cycle of not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I think these events are really designed just to make you go in there and buy tokens, right? It's another thing that's designed to make you spend your money. Like, well, we'll put a timer on this. Your average person's not going to have the tokens required to finish it, so if they want to finish this, they have to buy something. I mean, that's basically what those add-on Elite Tuner events are. So, just like the Lamborghini, I got this one up to 5 stars. I didn't finish the event for that. This one I got up to 4 stars. I didn't finish the event for that. So, I mean, just do a little bit here and there as you can, but your choice is either to focus on the main event and finish that, or focus on the add-on events. I mean, it's really up to you what you want to do.
Yeah. Now, just my little bit of input, okay? Out of these add-on cars that Denny's looking at, my top pick of cars to build would be the Z, the Sylvia, the Corvette, and the rest are not so good. I mean, unfortunately, the Mustang's just not good. The Lamborghini, as cool as it looks, isn't that great either. So, what's the other ones? I mean, I know the Sylvia, the Z, and the what's the other one I just mentioned? I know I forgot my own. Oh, C8. The C8's good. The
720 is pretty nice. I like the 720.
Oh yes, the 7. That's the other one. The 720 is really good. The Lexus LC500, I don't consider that an add-on one. That's kind of one of the Elite Tuner cars that is part of the overall original series, in my opinion. I'm talking about these later ones that popped up more recently. So out of the original ones, of course, the GR Supra, the LC500, those are top cars to definitely focus on. But Elite Tuner, like all these Elite cars, the live racing end, the Z is good, the Sylvia is good, the C8 is good, the 720S is good. Those are the T5s that are. So if I were to start spending tokens and focus on them, those are the ones I would work on first.
Yeah, like a lot of people are interested in this Mustang, and I'll tell you what, the Mustang, the only thing I really like about it is if you max it out, it can cross the finish line kind of quickly, but it doesn't really have a lot more going for it other than that. Like, it's not a car that I would really take into live racing. It's not fun to tune. It looks nice. It crosses the finish line fast, but it's not really a car that you can do a whole lot with, in my opinion. So,
later, Mark. So the question, when does the Corvette come? I think the Corvette comes after the Mustang. So you get the Corvette, the Mustang, or the Corvette, the Honda, and the Mustang. I forgot. The Mustang's first, and then I think it's either the Corvette or the Honda NSXR, and then the later ones is like the Lamborghini, the Sylvia, and all that. My veteran noob account before was at rank 200 or so when I gave it up. That account already had the Corvette, the Sylvia, the Mustang, the NSXR, all within the garage. Not that I built them, but they were there. NSXR I don't consider to be that great. I hate to say it, but and I like the NSX all around as a car, but that particular one, the Elite Tuner one, doesn't stand out to me. Someone mentioned Aurora Tour earlier. That is a good live racer, especially with low upgrades. 720S was really good, but I didn't have a chance to build it. I had no tokens. I'm still working on that car like as a long-term project. I'm on like rank 14 or something, 15 with that car. I got further with the Sylvia, which has been holding its own pretty well. The C8 is quite good, actually. I was able to tune it to be pretty decent, but it's hard to drive. So they're definitely, those are definitely my favorite Elite Tuner cars as far as the Tier 5 event-based ones.
Yeah, my Corvette's not in with the rest of the Elite Tuners. That's a really good car there. Like, that Corvette is probably one of the better ones. I think the Sylvia, the 720, and the Corvette are three of the very best. They're super fast, and they're just really great tunable cars and good live racers. But this is another one. I was focusing on getting my Mark IV Supra, so I never ran the event for this. So, unfortunately, I can't really put any of the bells and whistles on this one either. But, it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah, the events that are ending for your Elite Tuner stuff, don't stress about it, right? So you don't get the crates as often, but remember there's a parts crate that exists. So all you have to do now is focus on getting bronze keys, and then periodically pull parts crates for that Lexus, for example. Whenever there's an event, you could lock in the Lexus, lock it in, get those free crates. That's the way you finish building.
Yeah.
But once the timer runs out, it runs out. There's nothing you can do about that.
A lot of people always ask, well, are they going to ever rerun those events? Don't know. I mean, I don't think so, but there's a small possibility someday they could decide to do that. But as far as I know, the reruns are not coming on those Elite Tuner events.
Right, exactly. So who's speaking in the background? That's me. I'm Max the Gamer. So I'm on here with Danny today.
Yeah, for example, I would love to have all these different colors unlocked, but I'll live without them.
I mean, I got this is one of the few Elite Tuner cars I did fully Elite. I have a bias towards this Corvette for obvious reasons, but I've tuned it. I've been using it. It's been a solid car in live. It's holding its own even in the faster lobbies. Not that it's not going to beat everybody, but it's good enough that I'm pretty content with it. But you do have to launch it specifically late, or you're going to struggle a little bit with it. Yeah, guys, thanks for coming and joining us. I've been trying to see if I can squeeze in a chance to get on here with Danny, and this weekend happened to work out. Originally, I thought I wasn't going to be able to.
But yeah, it's always cool to have Max. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We probably don't interact with you guys as much because, I don't know, there's just a lot going on. But hopefully you guys like listening to us. I think I like that. I don't really like that weird speckled hood color, though. Kind of works, but I don't know.
I like that wheel you just selected. That looks good on that car. I might have to go back. Nice. Yeah, that's like the HRE style, or BBS style wheels.
Yeah.
It's always a favorite for me.
I always like those too. Those are really nice looking deals. Why does this happen? If you notice, on the left hand side of my screen, if you look on the very edge, you see all those little white dots.
I think your screen capture thing happened to land a little bit outside of the edge. All you have to do is shrink your if you're on LD player, just shrink the screen a little and put it back and it'll go away.
Well, what I noticed, all I have to do is turn off the screen, then turn it back on, and then it goes away. That's the part I don't understand. No matter, I've tried to resize it several times, tried to make it bigger, smaller. No matter what, that keeps happening. Then if I turn it off and turn it back on, then bam, it's gone. I've never been able to figure out why it's doing that. Maybe one of these days I'll go into some of the settings and play with the different settings and see if I can get it to stop. I mean, that always drives me nuts. Normally there's just a couple of them. I just noticed it was all the way down the whole edge, so that's pretty weird. I don't know what's causing that. But guys and gals, our stream time is about over for the day. I need to get myself some breakfast and get up and get doing some stuff. So I want to say, Max, thanks for coming out. Definitely appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, next time you want to go on, I know how to set it up quickly, so it won't really.
Good deal. Yeah, so I'll try to make it whenever I can, but again, you know, I'll try to give you at least a day notice, but it's hard.
KB says sick NASCAR. I want that. Yeah, the NASCAR ones are pretty cool. There's a few different NASCARs in the game, and I think I only got to one of them. It's kind of funny, but I saw this the other day. I was like, oh man, I didn't even realize I had that. But I got so many cars. There's a lot of cars in here that I just had no clue that I own, and I run into them one day. I'm like, oh wow, I have that. But I don't know. I mean, probably got like 500 cars in this game, which is redonkulous. It's completely crazy.
2 days for laptop notifications. Okay. I try.
Yeah, 2 days ahead would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Or like early in the day or something.
Yeah, I'll try. You know, I'll tag you or something to try, or I'll tell William to tag you. We'll figure it out.
Sounds good. All right, guys and girls, thank you so much for coming out. You guys are amazing. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching the videos and hanging out with the live streams and everything else. If you guys haven't subscribed to Max on YouTube, you might want to check him out because he makes some awesome CSR videos as well. But it's time to get going, so thank you guys. Say goodbye to Max really quick, and then we are out of here.
All right, everyone, have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.
All right, everyone, thank you, and catch you later. See ya. All right. And there we go. That should be it.